2003, 2004, I went through a bad breakup. I was engaged to be married, and I, made a slight error, having sex with someone else. Yeah, you guys don't like me already. So, I like you do when you go through those colossal breakups where you can't even see straight for, years on end. You move home. And for me, that was Cape Cod. And what was funny, though, was that my parents no longer lived there. And I moved in with this, lonely cable repairman guy with his really elderly dog with shit everywhere. And the guy didn't really clean up the shit. He just used to put newspaper, and there was like a foot of newspaper on the ground in this apartment. And the guy had an obsession with Red Skelton, too. It was horrible. But so anyway, I was doing a lot of drugs. Gobbling up a lot of complex benzodiazepines. I was reconnected with my old high school friends. I had been away. I was one of the ones that had gotten away, but I hadn't. And in the ensuing years, things had gotten bad, like really bad. It was dazzling. Me and my buddy Justin, we would go to the liquor store and get 40s and hide them in the alley behind the bar so we could go hang out at the bar, but then not pay the bar prices, but then we would convince people to buy us drinks, and then we would find an after party usually. And there was this one place where we went a lot. It was a basement of like a house at the end of a cul-de-sac that the place was a dead end, is what I'm trying to tell you. That's the metaphor, that's the takeaway metaphor. There was one night, usual party scene, and one guy's waiting for his mess drop off, and when people know one person has drugs and they don't have any money, so they just wait around until that other person is doing it, so maybe you don't. Maybe you guys have led better lives than me. But anyway, everyone was really, the person whose house it was, Colleen, she had 5 kids, and we were 22, and she was pregnant again, and she had a ton of coke. Whatever you're thinking, it's more. But people weren't really concentrated on cocaine because there was meth, which is here's shit as a swear and here's fuck, here's coke and here's meth. And she was just like, somebody's got to do this or I'm going to do it. And I was like, oh God. And in my brain-addled state, I thought I would do something heroic, which is save Colleen's baby. And by doing all her coke. Because I thought I would really save the day. And there's a side story in here at some point where I try to have sex and nothing works, but I end up doing all the coke by myself. And I try to give it time. I go to the bathroom and I come back and I'm like, no, still nobody else is doing this. And I do more and more and more. And it gets to the point where I'm mad. I'm just yeah, ugh. Usually people are trying to get drugs and I'm I'm so overdoing this right now. But I'm still on coke, so my skin's turning to helium and a rave and whatever. But, I go home that night, and the drip is really bad. The drip is so bad. And something is happening in my throat, and I feel like there's something in my throat, clogging it. And I keep trying to swallow it, and I'm and I look in the mirror finally when I get home, in the house with the dog and the shit, and I'm looking in the mirror and I open my throat real wide and my duodenum has swelled to the size of a large strawberry, and the thing that I had been trying to swallow was my own throat. And I stayed awake for 2 more days because I was terrified of choking to death. And I could take breaths like once every 30 seconds, and it was always like... And what was awkward is that I had work the next day, and I went to work at Macy's. And I couldn't breathe, and I kept going... And no one noticed. And maybe that's just, maybe you guys have been to the East Coast. I don't know, like... that's my worst. Was it worst best or best worst? Because I feel like mine is definitely the worst best.